Joining us now on the platform, and so left to right, we do have obviously Rajiv Maragh, trainer Donnie K. von Hemmel, and owner Everett Dobson of Cheyenne Stables, who owns Caleb's Posse in partnership with Don McNeil and McNeil Stables. Congratulations to all three of you. I'll start with you, Everett. I know you're close friends with Don, who couldn't be here today, battling health problems, leukemia. Were you able to speak yet to Don and discuss the win, the very impressive win we just witnessed?
Not yet. Don's son Ryan was with me in the winter circle, and we tried to make a connection and couldn't get through. But I'm sure we'll have a long conversation this evening.
And Caleb's Posse is named after Don's grandson, Caleb, I believe?
Yes, and he is here, and he was in the winter circle with us. So.
And it was said that Mr. McNeil had basically decided to get out of the business, maybe disperse his holdings, but wanted to continue on with you to own at least one horse. That proved to be a great decision. Why this horse?
Well, the short answer is this horse showed a lot of talent early on, and he's not the most physically imposing horse, but he always had that attitude that looked like he had some athleticism. Certainly, when he was raised at our farm in Lexington, and when we saw him growing up, he just looked like he had the it factor, and sure enough, it's what dreams were made of.
Training Caleb's Posse is Donnie K. von Hemmel, no stranger to the winner's circle. You've got almost 2,000 to your credit. You're the all-time leading trainer at Remington Park, but this is Breeders' Cup win number 1 for you from just 3 starters. Much was made, the decision, dirt mile or sprint. You obviously chose correctly. How did you arrive at the decision?
Well, it was through discussions with Mr. McNeil and Mr. Dobson. We'd have a conference call about once a week, and really when we won the King's Bishop and we knew the Breeders' Cup was a possibility, the dirt mile was the race that I was in favor of the most, and to get there, the Indiana Derby was what we chose to use to get there. So with that in mind, we still wanted to keep our options open on how the fields were going to shape up in both races. And it turned out both races I thought were probably pretty evenly dispersed as far as the runners and all. And so we chose to stay with our original plan and go on the dirt mile.
Donnie, not to take anything at all away from Caleb's Posse, but when he goes 2 turns, either in the Indiana Derby or the Iowa Derby, he seems like he's spinning his wheels. He comes up flat for whatever reason. And around 1 turn, he seems virtually unbeatable. Have you ever run into a horse like that who was kind of a tweener, but so close yet so different, depending on where he's spotted?
Yeah, I've had a few along the way that were similar in that respect. In fact, a horse for Mr. McNeil years ago named Little Performer, he was a 7/8 to 1 mile, 1 turn horse, and it's fitting, I guess, that's the horse that popped in my mind. It wore these colors and won several races for us also. But yeah, he is a unique horse in that regard, and he's a 1-turn horse, and I'm so glad he can do that very well.
Wearing those colors today is Rajiv Maragh, who's celebrating his first Breeders' Cup victory. 2 things, Rajiv. Number 1, we heard you on television basically lay out the trip for Jerry Bailey on TV, and it worked out almost exactly as it came out of your mouth. I don't know how often races play out like that, but this one certainly did. Also, on the overhead camera, it really showed just how much ground Caleb's Posse made up from about the 3/16 pole to the wire. You won by 4, but when you were at the 3/16 pole, were you confident that you were going to reel them in like that?
Well, I really didn't want to make the lead too early and make too much of a middle move. He inherited the lead earlier than I expected. He accelerated really fast, and he just kept on going.
And did the race indeed play out in reality just the way you had envisioned it in your mind?
Yes, that worked out really well because I was hoping to be 7 or 8 lengths off the lead comfortably, and he put me everywhere I hoped I would be without having to ask him to do it out of his way. So it all worked out well.
Donnie, we know two things about Caleb's Posse. We know he doesn't lose when he goes one turn, and he doesn't lose when Rajiv Maragh rides him. Could you comment on Rajiv?
He's one of the best young riders in America, or best riders in America, in my opinion. I think he does a great job. You can see competing in New York with all those guys. He holds his own, and
We just need you to speak a little closer.
okay. No, just like I said, I think he's one of the best riders in America. Of course, he's competing with the best riders in Belmont and holding his own, and he's one of those guys that has a way with horses, and in Caleb's case, he really runs for him.
Okay, questions either upstairs in the press box or here in the room for the Caleb's Posse connections. We'll start with Tom.
Trainer Hamill, you had Rajiv Maragh ride him for the first time in August, and then Rajiv is 3 for 3 on Caleb's Posse. What were the circumstances that dictated you were asking him to ride the first time?
The circumstances were we were coming to Saratoga, and his agent gave me a call, and in fact, his agent and my father go way back, so there's a connection there. In fact, I think his agent rode some winners for my father along the way a long time ago, and he called, asked if we were interested in riding Rajiv, and I said, yeah, let me call Don and Everett, and we'll chat about it a little bit, and I gave him a little push. I thought he was a good choice, and turned out to be a lot of fun along the way.
Rajiv, could you comment on the influence Jerry Bailey's been on your career to date?
Well, Jerry's always been very instrumental in helping me learn a lot of things a lot faster than I would be able to learn on my own. He's ridden so many great races in his career and has had so much success, and he helps me to mature as a rider a lot faster than if I had to do it on my own. Because a lot of times you go out there and you make mistakes, and you have to learn from your mistakes. And I think one of the biggest things is with him, he kind of gets me before I make that mistake. He tells me, like, from his experience, so I don't have to go by the rough road, so it makes me learn faster.
Donnie, can you talk about, after beating Uncle Mo, coming out of the Indiana Derby where Caleb's Posse was third, and what you were thinking there against Wilburn and Shackelford, and how this horse moved forward? You kept him at Keeneland most of October until you brought him over at the end of October for a work over this track.
Mm-hmm. Well, we, like I said, we chose the Indiana Derby, and of course it was a two-turn race with some very nice horses in there, and I think it was more a way to get to the Breeders' Cup than, I mean, you're disappointed when you get beat, but of course Rajiv couldn't come ride that day because he had previous commitments in New York. But I think it was a way to get to the Breeders' Cup. I don't think we were terribly surprised with the way he ran that day. That's been pretty much the way he's run those races. But it was part of getting him here. And I had some horses at Keeneland, so the travel demands were very, very light on the horse from Chicago to Indiana to Keeneland and then on over to here. And was just, it was one of those deals where everything has to work great. The horse did his work when we wanted him to, was in the feed tub every day, just like you'd cleaned it up, and was happy to go do his job. And it really is, to win these kind of races, everything just has to be spot on every time. And I think my crew at the barn, they help make that happen.
The horse has had a really good season so far, and the Eclipse Awards are really open for the 3-year-old championship. Is that on your guys' minds at all, or was that just something after effect that you guys may be thinking about?
Well, he does have a couple of Grade 1 wins. I think there's probably other people that decide that. I think you can make a case that way. I think you might be able to make a stronger case as champion sprinter. So hopefully there'll be some people that they'll feel the same way I do.
Mr. Dobson, when did you buy into this horse? And can you talk a little bit about your relationship with the Von Hemmels going back through the years?
Yeah, I bought into the horse at the beginning of his 3-year-old year, so the start of this year. And it was kind of a gentle urging and nudging from Don to do it because it was a nice horse, and he was raised at my farm in Lexington. So I was thrilled when he told me I was in. we didn't even have to negotiate the price. I've known the Von Hemmels, gosh, I don't know, for more than a dozen years, since probably the late '90s, and I guess I've had a horse with Donnie, at least one horse, and many years, several horses for better than 12 years, and have a lot of respect for how he trains, and couldn't be more pleased with how he treats the horses and how he gets them ready. And I think this is a perfect example of what Donnie Von Hemmel can do to the horse, to the right horse.
Tom?
Jockey Rajiv was talking about the help he's getting from Jerry Bailey. On a personal note, Aparna Batula, an upcoming lady jockey in Florida, speaks very highly of Rajiv, and she tells me that all her success she entirely owes to the help she's getting from Rajiv. So therefore, he's a class act. Thank you.
Rajiv, could you just... I didn't catch the name of the jockey Tom was referring to.
She's an apprentice. Her name is Aparna Batula. She's actually here today for the race. She came in this morning and she came over for the race. So that was great that she was able to witness such a good race.
So would it be fair to say that Jerry Bailey is serving as a mentor to you, and you are serving as a mentor to Aparna?
He's definitely giving back to the game what it needs for the jockeys, showing a lot of help, and it's great to have his advice on a lot of different things as a jockey.
Well, a very nice story in so many ways. A powerful win by a racehorse, sentimental win for the owners. Nice story with you, Rajiv, and taking care of the generation behind you, just like somebody has done so for you. And when we leave today, certainly Caleb's Posse has thrown his name quite forcefully into Eclipse Awards talk. Congratulations to all three of you, Rajiv Maragh, Donnie K. Von Hemmel, and Everett Dobson. Great win today by Caleb's Posse.